Hi cubies and newbies, I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. If you've found me, you're probably already a cuber, but this is a cubing method for non-cubers. This is a newbie method. It's different from the beginner's method. It is in that I don't make you memorize any algorithms. I don't make you memorize the names of each slice in order to start doing puzzles. This is just a visual. Formula A, it's called the ABCube method. Formula A is 4 moves, Formula B is 8 moves with these two patterns. That's all you need to solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. Because Formula A will bring a piece to the top and twist corners around, and Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you ever need to do to solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. This is something that's called this is something that's called a parity. It's when there's only 2 pieces that need to be switched and the rest of the cube appears to be solved. And parities are a lie. There's a big old long algorithm you can memorize if you want to. There's several algorithms you can memorize if you want to. But parities are a lie. You don't have to play with them unless you want to. Because there's always 2 pieces to move. If it looks like there's only 2, the third piece that you don't see is the piece that you do not see literally. So the slice that touches that parity is a quarter turn off. Rotate that a quarter turn. And instead of having 2 edge pieces, you now have 3 edge pieces that you can switch and then redo the centers when you're done. However, I do the centers last, so that's not an issue for me. Okay, Formula A is 4 moves. Like I said, it brings a piece to the top. It's usually the bottom row in the right column because we're working on corners. Sometimes it is the center row in the center column because we want to, somebody did boxes on our cube. We want to bring the centers back into place. But everything else is Formula B. So yesterday I did all of the corners on all of the cubes to show that each cube can be treated the exact same way, despite the fact that some cubes have more columns and rows than others. They can each be treated the exact same way. The corners are all done. The corners are done one way, whether there's 2 corners, whether there's 2 columns or 10 columns, there's still only 8 corners, so they're done the same way. Once the corners are done, the 2x2 is done, and everything else, the corners establish what color each face is going to be. Back in the 80s, we did that. It worked around the absolute center instead because the absolute center was unchangeable because it was one piece internally. That stopped being the case when we went to 4x4, but we still kept doing it that way. Go figure, because humans, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So corners are done. At this point, everything now has a correct spot. So I did the yellow corners and the white corners. So since I've been training my eyes to look for yellow and white, I'm going to continue looking for yellow and white. So this one has the center already lined up to the corners. If that was not the case, then you can either force it manually at this point in time, or you can use Formula A if the corners, let's say you didn't want to mess anything up. So to put this piece on top, it'd be this row and this column, Formula A. So you move this piece away from the action, you move the space where it wants to land down, you move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again. Okay, so that's Formula A for the center. So now that the centers are lined up on the odd number cubes, they can't be lined up for the even number cubes because we don't know. So holding the cube with yellow and white left and right, I'm going to look for a yellow or white cube that's in my middle area, meaning not on the outside edges. Okay, so for the 3x3, there's just one center row. For the 4x4, there's 2. As you get larger, there's more, but you hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right, either direction. And then we're going to be working on the edge pieces. It doesn't matter whether it's the absolute center edge piece or whether it's a diagonal edge piece, whatever you want to call those. What happened? Session ended after 15 seconds. Yeah, thank you for coming back. Sorry, I had to clear my throat and decided it was... decided to clear my throat. I had to clear my throat and decided to use that to check whether there was an echo or not before I actually started. So that's why I restarted. Hi, a username is required. Thank you for joining me. So like I said, the ABCube method can solve every complexity cube. It also solves every complexity minx. Sometimes I just like playing with the minxes. Again, formula A brings a piece to the top, and formula B moves 3 pieces around. For both of these, doesn't matter. So, now then. So, look at holding yellow and white left and right as dictated by the corners. I then look for a yellow or white anywhere in the middle area, and here's one. Where's my blue tack? Okay, so I'm marking this piece so that you can see that's the one I'm working on. Okay, so yellow and white are left and right. I found a piece with yellow and it's on top. So the first thing we're going to do is I move the corners to match the front. And then so the red and yellow is going to land above the red yellow something corner, not above the red white something corner. So it's going in this direction. So formula A is bottom row right column or middle row middle column, or anything you want, really. So for formula B, it's the top row and 2 columns. The 2 columns are going to be, one of them is where the cube is right now, and the other one is where the cube wants to be. So where it wants to be is the first column, where it is the second column. So top row, first column, second column. Start by moving away from the action. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And that piece is placed. And we do that over and over again, as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, here's another one, but we want the yellow or white to be on top. So with yellow and white left and right, I'm going to flip it, and yellow and white are still left and right. Bring the corners to match the front, determine its direction this way, and away up, in, up, away down, in, down. Okay, so just to recap, when we did that using the outside columns for the corners, so slide up, slide down, it moved 3 pieces and only 3 pieces. Those 3 pieces were corners. Okay, moved all of these once. If I do it again, moves the same 3 corners. The effect of going the other direction. And do it a third time, they go back to however they started. Any pattern that you have that you repeat will eventually go back to start. So for the top row outside rows columns, it moved the corners, and to move the centers, the edge pieces, we're going to use a top row and the outside and inside column. So line the corners up. And I'm flipping back and forth between these because it really doesn't matter. They're all done the same way. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. Yellow's on top. So it's going in this direction. Okay. So top row, first column, second column. Slide up, slide second up, slide down, slide second down. And we're placing one at a time. For most methods out there, you use the reduction method where you do the centers first, and then the edges, and then you solve it like a 3x3 because they learned on the 3x3. So of course they're going to want to go with something familiar like that. But you don't have to learn on the 3x3. You can learn on the 5x5 because you can learn on all of them at the same time, and then you can do all of them regardless of how big they are, instead of having to learn a new method each time it goes higher. So with the beginner's method, they would pair things up. They'd say, okay, here's a yellow and green. Where's the other yellow and green? And maybe let you put them together. And so there's inspection time that the reduction method costs, which I don't have to do with the ABCube method. There's no inspection time needed. You just hold the cube with yellow and white left and right, find a piece in the middle. Okay, and I'm not looking for any particular piece. I just find a piece that's wrong, line up the corners, and throw it in the direction it wants to be. So slide up, slide second up, slide down, slide second down, and that is placed. Okay, and whether it's a 3x3 or 4x4 or 5x5, I just hold yellow and white left and right, look for a piece in the middle that is one of those 2 colors, and if it's on the front face, I flip it so it's on top. Corners, determine its direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Alrighty. Find another piece in the middle, yellow and white are left and right, bring the corners to match the front, determine its direction, it's going this way. Slide up, slide down, slide down. And I see that I'll be able to show you what happened on this cube. I'll be able to show you what happens when there's no more yellow or whites in the middle. Then we reassess. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Away up, in up, away down, in down. I'm going to turn this into a song, you guys. Slide up, slide down, and we just move 3 cubes around. Okay, going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, and these are the 3 cubes we moved. Okay, this is not yellow or white, this is not yellow or white, this is not yellow or white, this is not yellow or white. So now we assess. Okay, either the edges are happily between the respective corners, or they're not. And if some of them are not, it's because it was already there and I haven't gotten to that one yet. So that's okay. So I can just use this as the displaced cube to go to my next corners, but I'm going to show you how to, if something is incorrect there, then I'm going to put a random piece into this spot, which will move it to the middle, and then I will place it correctly. Okay, so top row, first column, second column, because this one's going to land there and displace it. Slide up, slide down, and again, there it is. Bring the corners to match the front, determine its direction, and place it the way it wants to be. Okay, so after the corners, we're doing the opposite edges. We're doing the yellow-white edges. Okay. So again, with yellow and white, and it's done, like I said, the reason I'm doing all of the edges at the same time is to demonstrate that regardless of how many columns you have, the edges are still solved the same way. You don't have to you don't have to learn different algorithms or memorize different patterns just because you go from a 3x3 to a 4x4 or a 10x10. So corners match the front. Yellow and white are left and right. It's going in this direction. Okay. So away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay. And lather, rinse, repeat for as long as there's a yellow or white anywhere in the not outside columns, anywhere in the inner columns. Formula B will move it to the outside. So we're doing opposite edges first, the yellow-white edges. Corners match the front, is going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, another piece, and we just keep going. Corners to match the front, it's going in this direction. Okay, now because the centers are when we're working on opposite edges, the center columns can be rotated freely. So it's sometimes advantageous to just check the other 3 sides of this column to see whether anything matches up with the piece you're moving. Because both of these want to be moved out, so I'm going to put a random piece. I'm going to treat these 2 as one piece, so I can move both of these out to work with it. So it's less likely that I have to double check after I get my edges done. So away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay, holding yellow and white left and right. We just look for more. Here's something yellow or white. Flip it so the white color's on top. Okay, yellow and white left and right. Corners match the front. That's the setup. And then it's going in this direction. So let's check to see if there's another one here. There's not. So just both of these columns want to move. I'm going to treat both of them the same way, well, as one piece. Okay, so slide up, slide second up, slide down, slide down. Every other move is horizontal. Every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So there's a lot of this going back and forth. Okay, so again, yellow and white are left and right. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up. Now it's placed. Slide down. Okay. And just lather, rinse, repeat. This method, I've been told this method is very boring, which is supposed to be. It's a good thing. If your mind if you get your dopamine splash from the challenge, then this is the method, not the method for you. This is simplifying it down to just the ABCs, just the basic beginning of what you need to know in order to start building an alphabet. I mean, if you know the alphabet, then you can put it together and make words out of it. If you know the formula A and formula B, then regardless of what your cube looks like when scrambled, you can pick it up and put it down solved. Okay, so corners match the front. It's going in the right direction. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. That just happened to pair up. This is the only time when I care about pairing them up, is if it just happens to fall into place. And sometimes when they're paired, you're going to have to, hi, if you've just joined me, I'm Sunshine. Drop your name in the chat if you want to, and I'll mention you, I'll comment. So the yellow and white are left and right. And the edges, this piece is, corners match the front. This piece is going in the right direction. Treat these as one piece. You have to be willing to separate these, separate the edges when you get down to if there's a parity, it's because you did your edges first. So most likely that doing the edges first increases the likelihood of the parity. And I don't know anybody who actually likes parities, but that's okay because parities are a lie. You don't have to play with them if you don't want to. So yellow and white are left and right. Here's a yellow. I want it to be on top, so I flip it, but yellow and white are still left and right. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Okay, I could look to see if my other one lines up, but it's already here, so I know it's not going to. And this one doesn't need to be displaced, so just this one piece. So top row, first column's where it's going to land, second column's where it begins. We start by moving away from the action so it doesn't get tied up in it. So that away, up, in, second up, you'll see it's placed now. Away, down, back, second down. Okay, so, haha. All right, so yellow and white are left and right, and we just keep looking for more yellow or whites that happen to be in the center area. Okay. And corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Here's another one. Active color on top, yellow and white are left and right. Talk me through it, guys. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. Okay. And it doesn't matter how big your cube is because you're doing it the exact same way. You have yellow and white left and right. You find a piece in the middle that has the yellow or white. You flip it so that that's on top with yellow and white left and right. And then you line up the corners. The cubes are all interchangeable. All the cubes are done the exact same way. So you don't have to learn new algorithms the larger your cube gets. So corners match the front is going in this direction. We're going to take a quick look to see if the other three sides of it. Okay, that one does not match. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so but both of these want to come out, so I can treat this as one piece. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. So again, this is for your non-cuber friends who are like don't want to spend the months and years that you've spent practicing your algorithms and finger tricks and getting fast and memorizing all of the stuff that you've memorized. They're like, I can't memorize that. Just tell me the secret. I just want to solve the cube. This is that. This is the secret. This is no memory. You don't have to know. You don't have to learn a new language. Corners match the front. Determine its direction and going to be. 1, 2, 3, nothing else is helpful. Okay, and just going, so away up, in up, away down, in down. And once you've learned that muscle memory pattern, like I said, it works on every cube and also every minx, every dodecahedron, minx, star, cube, not cube, dodecahedron. All right, so again, yellow and white are left and right. Find a piece that's yellow or white, the edge piece in the middle. Have it on front. Yellow and white are still left and right. Corners match the front. Okay. And determine which direction it's going. The orange and white's going to go over the orange and white something corner, not the orange and yellow something corner. So it's going in this direction. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, both of these want to go. So none of these have to be preserved. So we're going to treat this this is one piece. So up, up, down, down. Okay. And that's it. It's just the same thing. I don't just take a cube, I take a scramble and talk you through solving it. Actually, that is what I do on the Minxes, because I'm trying to make sure that whatever your cube looks like, I'm answering the question that you would have if you were sitting in front of me and didn't know what to do. So corners match the front. This piece wants to be here, so this one is not going to be one. 1, 2, 3, nope, nothing. All right, so, but I'm going to, both of these want to move out, so I'm going to treat these two as one piece anyway. So I'm going to place this one correctly, put a random piece to move this one out. So up, up, down, down, okay? So, so that's the thing. You just keep doing it until you run out of them. But a quick overview. Unless you guys have questions, I'm just teaching you the main things. Actually, I know you guys are cubers, but I appreciate you spending your time with me. Bring me your non-cuber friends. We'll have fun. Like I said, this is not a speed solve method. This is not a fewest moves method, but it does work on every piece. So you just learn this and you can solve every cube. You'll notice I don't have a parity algorithm. Okay, this is what a parity looks like. This is one way a parity can look, okay, where there's two pieces and only two pieces that are out of place, and everything else looks solved, and so you don't want to mess it up. The thing is that these two pieces that are out of place, there's never two, there's always three. The third piece that you do not see is literally the slice that you do not see. So if we move this slice right here has two edges that are incorrect and two edges that are correct. Okay, but if we rotate this slice 1/4 turn in either direction, then we have one cube that's correct and three cubes that are incorrect, and we know how to move three cubes around. So that one single slice just dissolved the parity. It's all gone. And so solve the edges in that orientation, and then the parity has disappeared. And I do the corners first, then edges, and then the centers last, so that when they come to the parity, I just swipe it away instead of having to do the algorithm at the end, which adds, I'm told, 10-ish seconds to your solve. So this does away with that. And they don't have to memorize a big old long scary algorithm. All right, so we are the top row and outside columns moves corners, top row and outside and inside column moves the edge pieces around. If you want to move a center piece around, it is also Formula B, top row, two columns. The two columns, we follow the piece around to see which direction, which the two columns are. So to move this piece to the top, I would first horizontal is to line it up so that's advantageous, and then first up, slide the top so that lands in a second column. That becomes my second column. Second up. Okay, and now my edges are done. So they're to remind me which columns I'm on in case I get confused. Like, let's say the cat jumps on my lap right now, or I drop the cube, pick it up again. So I know that I have to do, so if I go this way, it doesn't line up, so that's not the way I'm supposed to go. It's this way. So the edges are there as a reminder when you're working on the center pieces, so you don't get lost and confused. Now it looks like I moved two pieces. I always told you Formula B moves three pieces and only three pieces. And it looks like I moved two, but two of them were yellow, so you couldn't tell, but it was two pieces. For example, if I move this piece up to the top here, okay, up to the top here, this white piece is not going to come down here. It's going to come down here. So if I move this yellow up to the top, slide second up, reverse down, and set the top, it moved three pieces. Okay. So let's do this back again. All right, so okay, let's move this yellow piece back down, move the white piece up. This yellow piece is not going to come here, it's going to come over here. So up, up, down, down, okay? And then this yellow piece is not going to come here, it's going to come over here. So up, slide, slide down. Okay, so that's the story. So we did the corners first, then opposite edges. Once the opposite edges are done, then you can put the white face down, and you can do the side edges. The way to do the side edges is to displace them. Just to do a quick overview, is to look at the side edges and see if any of them are incorrect. If you find a piece that's incorrect, and we're going to displace a yellow into that spot, because we've already established that Formula B moves a piece from the top to the top front to the side front. Okay. Up, up, down, down, and then white just stays face down until all the rest of the sides are done. And then we find the piece on top that's not yellow. This yellow is going to bop back and forth. So we find the piece on top that's not yellow, hold the whole cube stable, and bring it to match the corners, the front corners. We're ignoring everything on top. We're ignoring the top. We're looking only at the piece that's not yellow now. Okay, so corners match the front, and red and blue is going to go in the blue direction, not the green direction. So top row, first column, second column. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, so this one's placed, and we're just placing them one piece at a time. And when the yellow comes back to the top, either solved or either correct or incorrect, when it comes to the top, then we reassess. So it's going in this direction. Two things that can happen when you get to the last two yellows that come to the top. You can have if you have a parity, a single slice wipes it away, like I said. And if you have two that are in the right place but flipped, then we just displace the center a piece again, and then place it correctly, and that flips both pieces. You can never flip one piece at a time. You're always flipping two. So that one's done. Does anyone have any questions or comments? No? Okay, all right. All right, guys, that seems like an organic pausing place. So go play with your cubes, go have fun, go walk in the sunshine, go drink lots of water, go be nice to yourself, go be happy, because that's a choice and you deserve it. So I'll be back here. It's Friday. I'll be back this evening, afternoonish, to finish these. All right, you guys. I appreciate you. Bye.